Welcome to the final segment of the show tonight. I'll repeat one more time. After Thanksgiving, we just go 2 nights a week. This is Monday night, so that means it's Estacado, Monterey, Memorial, and Liberty. Wednesdays are, let me make sure I get the right order, Coronado, Lubbock High, may have those switched. Friendship and Lubbock Cooper, 6 to 7:30 each night, which means Liberty and Lubbock Cooper folks get stuck with me for an extra half an hour. So congratulations, you guys are stuck with me for a little while. Yay. Keelan Ellison, who I've not seen since not quite a year, but at the time she had a visitor about to show up.
Yes.
And got sent home by the doctor, right?
Yep.
Didn't get to coach her team directly. Mm-hmm. I'm going to guess you were still coaching somehow or another still.
Yeah, she was going back and forth with me all game. What are you telling me?
We've got players directing. Before I forget, though, I think we forgot to tell you, girls, hold it above the silver, hold it close, and talk loud. And Brennan will make you sound good in there. So, Keelan, that season turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
Even though you had to watch from afar. Mm-hmm. Kendall, I want to make sure I say it right. Kendall Darden, yes. She took over for you. Mm-hmm. And we give her brother-in-law a little bit of grief. She helped the team get to the regional tournament. Or is it called the regional tournament anymore?
It's just regional quarters now.
Regional quarterfinals. And Chip Darden didn't come and watch his sister-in-law, so I'm going to give him grief about that. Now, father-in-law was there, I think. Was Chuck there?
Probably.
Yeah, and my favorite Darden was there. So,
of course.
And it was a tough day. But I'm going to guess your girls learned something. I'm going to get the girls here to talk about it. I'll have you introduce them here in a second. That was first season, got to playoffs, lost in the first round. Mm-hmm. Last year, went to the third round, played a really good team. You weren't there to watch. You watched on video, I assume.
Sure, yeah.
What did you see that your girls learned, if that makes sense? What did you learn that you hope your girls learned?
That they are capable of fighting in those big battles. We can compete with those local like DFW teams, and that we are capable of more than we even expect. So this year going into season, everything is, hey, what can you give that's more? What's your extra % for the day?
Because you guys were incredible last year. Mm-hmm. I can call it up here, but you can. What was your final record?
Oh, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Well, introduce these girls. Maybe they can help. You see, you're a mom now, so it's going to be harder for you to remember stuff.
Yeah.
Introduce your 2 girls here, and we'll let them talk about last season.
Closest to you in the red is junior Addie Evans. She is a forward for us this last season. Year before that, she was a center back, but I think we found her home up top. And I've got sophomore holding midfielder Emma White.
All right. Why don't you grab the microphone? She's making you go because you're older. Do you remember your record last year?
Don't.
It was. I know there were a lot of wins and not many losses.
Right.
One district had 2 great matches against Greenwood in district that got you ready. Same question for you though. You get 2 rounds. You got 3 rounds deep in the playoffs. That was you wanted to win that day. Obviously, you didn't get it. But what did you guys learn from that has kind of lit a flame in you ever since?
That we can compete. Like we just started our soccer, like our school in total. We just started, and it's shown us that even though we're still young, we can still accomplish amazing things, and that we just can do the hard things mainly, even though we are still very new. Playing with these girls has just shown me like how much they care and how much grit they have in total. I'm just ready for the next year.
See, now you got to talk.
I think we just learned that like we could do more than what we expected, and that just pushes us more this year to just do better and go farther.
So I'm going to tell a little bit of a story on Coach here. When first year, she wasn't sure exactly what you guys had, because how many players did you tell me that really hadn't played soccer at that point?
We had 5 that were confident soccer players. So what did we have? 18 that year? 18.
Yeah.
So 13 girls were newer to the sport or had never played.
So that's pretty incredible to do what you guys have done the first 2 years. What's that tell you about the girls? Not necessarily soccer skills, but just the want to.
They're willing to work for it and rise to any challenge that you give them. Which, I mean, especially with high school kids, you don't really see that. It's a rare thing that these girls have. But they don't come by it easy. You know, we push them every single day at practice. You know, we're asking a lot of them every single day.
What have you guys learned about Coach Darden in these 2 years? What have they've taught you a lot. What have you learned about them as coaches that's helped you get better?
I mean, I've just really learned that they care a lot about us. Like, even outside of just soccer, they care about how we do in school, how we're doing just in life in general. And I've learned that they, in the end, want the best for us out of high school. Like, yes, they want us to do great in soccer and achieve a lot of things in high school, but like, they're going to care about us even when we go off to college, even when we go get married and have kids and all these things. They still are going to want to care, but like, they just care about us so much.
So were you two of the 5 that had soccer experience?
I was one of the 5, I would like to think.
Yes.
I would like to think I was one of the 5.
I've played club soccer too, so
I can think of probably the other 3 off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. So, and I've talked to the other 3 that I'm thinking of. That's kind of a challenge when I'll get you to answer this. That's kind of a challenge when you know soccer and you're trying to teach teammates to play. How proud of you are of your teammates that have come a long way like they have?
I'm very proud because it's hard to like just pick up soccer and like get into the flow game, but then they put in the work every single day to get in and try and get the best that they can.
So the other part of the conversation when I first met Coach is you also had to get used to playing up in Amarillo in January when it's not really soccer weather. I don't know what weather that is. So that's some new things for girls to have to learn as well. Coming up at our first break, we're going to switch from weather to get back to soccer when we come back in the Panther fan zone on 100.7 The Score.
Diving headfirst into Liberty Athletics. You're listening to the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the Patriot Fan Zone. I'm Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score. I'm better prepared now. Liberty finished 18-2-3 and 10-0 in district. Does that sound right? Mm-hmm. And besides Greenwood, wasn't very nice to people in district. How many? I remember asking, it was either you or Kendall, because in your district, if you get to a certain point, match over, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Did you guys finish a match except for Greenwood?
We finished a few, but not very many. Which,
as a coach, now players, I don't know how players feel about it. As a coach, you want to get your girls a little bit of experience and see them out there a little bit more. But the other side is that is no injuries. Mm-hmm. Get off. What about you girls? Is it fun to have it finish quickly, or would you rather?
I mean, there's ups and like downsides. Like when you drive all the way to Pecos, you're just like 20 minutes. I got 20 minutes left. Just get me out of here. I'm done. Yeah. But there's also when you get to playoffs, you don't have as much experience in playing the full time that you have to play, and it just is so like it hits you because you're actually playing some better teams and you're actually having to run everywhere, and it's much more like physically demanding. And when we don't get to play those games, it definitely shows in the playoffs.
Because, and I will say this, I've covered every sport imaginable. Soccer players are the most best conditioned athletes on earth because y'all never stop, except for the goalie. The one year I played soccer, my little school decided not to play football. I was like, I'll try soccer, but I'm not running. Stick me back there. So. How do you can't, when you get in the district, there's not much you can do about that. You don't want to not dominate the way you guys did, but how do you get your girls more prepared for that?
We kind of set an expectation. Okay, when the score is at this point, we let our players who don't have as much experience, they take the field, and then we work on different things. We use it as a different practice, so to say. And we just have to push that much harder at practices on a normal day to get that endurance built back up, to get that strength against each other. But it's still so different when you're playing in a match for 80 minutes versus a team like Greenwood versus playing in a match versus a school that doesn't really have as strong of a team as we do.
And you guys made progress from one year to the next. Like I said, first year you get to the playoffs, and that may have been part of it. Not young players not understanding we're coming from this district. We're really good to now they understand that. And I remember watching this match against Godley. First of all, this also jumped into my head. When was it that y'all heard on the bus that Coach had her baby? Was that second round?
They found out after the game. I had the baby the day they won area.
Okay.
At like 8:30 that night, and I don't remember if I texted y'all that night. I think. But
Kendall may get mad at me here because I'd stopped bothering. I didn't want to bother Coach, and so I texted Kendall something about, well, I hope everything's going well with her, and she goes, oh, she had the baby. So I was like, oh, well, that's pretty exciting to win a playoff match and then find that out. So you probably had other things on your mind, I'm going to guess.
No, it was a crazy day. It was a crazy day.
But you get to the third round, you play Godley, and we've talked about here in the break, pretty physical team. Had some players that were older, and you could tell. For both you girls, what did you learn about, now you played other good teams during the season in pre-district, but what did you learn about that, playing that level of team, what you've got to do once you get there again?
I think that like during practice we need to be more like physical with each other, so we'll be more prepared, but also just having the mindset that it's going to be a tough game and we just got to mentally prepare for that.
What about you? We're not talking about like throwing hands or practice.
No, sir.
Just pretty much like pushing the entire game, because like even when teams are more physical, it makes it harder to run because you're being pushed off the ball and then you're flying in the air like a crazy person. Maybe you see that rolls, but it's just those more like the bigger teams just they make it harder to do what you need to do, because even teams that might not be as technically good, they're harder to play because they're shoving you off the ball and they're getting in your way more, and it just makes it harder. So you have to learn how to break down and play around that, or learn how to be physical back.
So I'm going to read you this quote from Bella, because that's who I talked to after the match. And y'all sounded almost word for word. She said, we wanted to win and keep playing together, but this is very useful because it gives us even more motivation to keep fighting and getting better. And there's one I know, because she said this, I didn't even have to ask her. She talked about it, how physical it was. I think she may have been one that got mowed over at some point. And she didn't, fairly enough, she didn't like it that much. So
yeah, Bella doesn't go down without a fight.
No, and that's, again, no throwing hands. I'm not encouraging violence in any means, but I've watched enough soccer to know that you have to be ready to be physical if you want to compete at that level. So I'll give more parenting advice when we come back in the Patriot Fan Zone after this break on 100.7 The Score.
Your inside look into Liberty sports. This is the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the Patriot Fan Zone. Let's do a little bit of, we talked a lot about last year. Let's focus on this year. Keelan, how many girls, I think I could guess this, but how many girls back? I'm going to guess it's a pretty high number.
Like pretty much all of them.
Which, Parker, I've talked to him a lot. It's you get used to that those first couple of years. You're going to have to have a senior night. You have to, at some point, you got to say goodbye to them. Yeah. But how cool has it been to be able to say that for a couple of years, that here we started here and now we keep building, and now this is a season that you've got a chance to be, not that you weren't really good last year, but you've got all those girls back that these are two young ones, younger. How good could this team be?
I mean, I don't want to say anything and jinx it the wrong way, but pretty solid. We've added some really great freshmen this season. We've lost a couple along the way for various reasons, but it's been, people talked about, oh, well, your team is so young, but we've been able to lay the foundation and not have anybody leave, so we can have that consistent foundation all the way across the board. Whereas other schools, if they open with 4 levels, they're going to try to set something in place, and then the girls that are expected to leave or lead will just have to leave and graduate. Whereas we just get to keep building and building and building, and now it's a tradition. This is what the expectation is for Liberty girls soccer, is that we, go 3-4 rounds deep in the playoff. Maybe this year we make a run and go crazy and go to state. But they know what the expectation is now, and it's been in place, and we were able to set what we wanted for our program and not have influences from other programs, because these girls have been forced to come over from whatever other high school. Like, they made the choice to come to Liberty and create what Liberty girls soccer is.
So you got these two that are you still get to coach them for a few more years. Alyssa.
One more.
2 Cavazos.
One more.
So there's a very strong core group to build more this year and just keep going. And you'll be, I assume, I'm not going to try to guess with the UIL. I assume you'll still be 4A next year. You learned about being in 4A. You had to play 4A the first year too. So
yes,
you guys got to jump on that. You saw Godly. For both you girls, now that you've seen what you have to beat getting down the road, how do you have to, physically you're going to be fine. Just mentally, what do you have to be ready for when you get to the 3rd, 4th, 5th round? Coach is getting you in the state championship, she said. So she's setting the bar really high. What do you know you have to be ready for?
I'm going to direct quote Coach Ellison. So she has this saying that, don't make it a Thanksgiving. It's just another turkey dinner. Like, take it as every other game you've played. Don't try to change everything, because, it does get more stressful once you get up there, because there's so much more on the lines. But if you take it as it's another game, at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. It definitely makes it less mentally stressful, and just more just do my best, and at the end of the day, it's going to be okay.
Because Emma, one thing, and I think may have been Coach Caldwell who told me this a few years ago. With soccer, you can't reinvent something.
No.
When you have to just be you. What is being you going to be like for Liberty Soccer this season? What are you guys going to be good at?
I think we're gonna. I think first of all, our bond on and off the field is something that we're very good at, and encouraging one another, but just also playing freely and not worried about the mistakes, but just going hard and giving 100%, and that towards all the game, not just part or half, but giving our full effort the whole game. I wanted.
Something else is new this year, because every time I drive out there, I see it, and that's another thing. Coach and I talked about that first day. What's that been like to have your own soccer pitch to know? I remember Joe saying this that first year with football. Now, they had a field, but they'd have to go over to the middle school, and they'd have to do this. They'd have to go pick up. All that's gone. Now your girls just get to walk out the door. And do you still have the same classroom where you can see your field?
No.
Okay.
They keep moving me around. But I'm really close to the field. If it wasn't so cold and windy outside, I'd probably walk over there every single day. But
so what's it like now to have a home?
It's so nice. There's not a football line in sight, which sometimes drives me crazy at practice because we use it for so many reference points. But it's definitely something that can be an advantage for us when teams are used to playing on a football field is really skinny. They kind of, especially because there's nothing on the field, they get kind of lost in the sea of green. But it's nice to just kind of not have to worry about anybody else. We're off doing our own thing, and then the boys come out towards the very end of our practice because their athletic period is in the middle of the day. So we just go from 4th period right on through after school. But it's beautiful. We're really, really, really lucky to have a straight soccer facility.
So now there's 4 in town, right? Friendship, Memorial, Lubbock, Cooper, and Liberty. So you guys are one of a few. Started practice, season begins early January, late December.
Mid-January. Well, okay. Non-district start at the very end of December, and then we're go January 14th.
There we go. That's going to wrap us up in the Patriot Fan Zone. Come back Wednesday night when we jump in with 4 more schools. I'm Randy Rosetta, and this is 100.7 The Score.